Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. This is the show where we talk about sports with comedians. Let's get ready to get the show started. I'm really pretty anxious to jump in and get ready to get things up. My man up first is a comedian who's traveled the world, still travels the world, does what he does his thing, Mr. Daniel Dugar. Dugar, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
I'm good, man. How you doing? Just sitting up here drinking this mushroom coffee, man. I'm really trying to get this body right, man, and this system.
Ooh, mushroom coffee. Yeah. Also in the building is my man, Mr. Rodney Perry. Is in the building. Rodney Perry, how you doing, sir? How's everything?
All is well, man. How y'all doing, gentlemen?
Hey,
Mm,
man.
you're doing very well. So, before I jump into the stories, man, the news just broke about an hour and a half ago that Victor Wembanyama literally got a blood clot and out for the rest of the season. I wanted to talk to you, Duga, first. I'm gonna have to throw you up first, man, and see. Tell me what you think the impact would be for that. For besides the obvious about him with the obviously the San Antonio Spurs. You think that impacts the face of the league in any way, shape, or form because of that?
I don't think it's going to impact the face of the league. We'll see him around Christmas time.
Mhm.
Um, they're saying it's an isolated situation. This has happened to a couple of other athletes. And I guess the procedure is to get to it immediately, and they give them those blood thinners, so they can't be doing too much. They just got to, rehabilitate and just do what the doctors say. I don't think it's going to impact the league. I don't really think it's going to. San Antonio really going to be in the playoffs? You see what I'm saying? I think it was more so them working on the chemistry, and I think they're going to be fine in the long run.
Do you think this affects their? I'm asking Rodney Perry the same question too. Do you think this affects the decision of Chris Paul to stay with the team, or because I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was going to be his last year. I thought he was going to retire after this year. Give it a run. Do you think this affects his decision, and he might decide to go play one more year with them? Because now they got De'Ron Fox, Chris Paul, Victor Wembanyama. They're putting together a squad. What's your take, Duga? What's your take?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm gonna ask
Oh, okay.
Rodney.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to see Chris Paul stick around one more year
Mm-hmm.
to basically hand the ropes over to Fox. But they got some other young players over there that are pretty good, and they also have a first round draft pick.
Right.
So I think they're gonna be okay, Frank. Honestly, we weren't really expecting them to be in the playoffs. It was kind of like a coin flip, but just basically with the cohesiveness of them working together, they wanted to see what it was going to look like. So I think when we see him around Christmas time, uh, we'll know.
Okay. Rodney Perry, thank you for joining the show. Before I even get into the questions with you, Rodney Perry, I just have to give you kudos, and I want to tip my hat to you, sir. You got the bomb podcast, bro. I watched that the other day, man. I have to
Oh
tip my
wow, very very kind, man. Thank you, bro.
bro. That podcast. I wish it was on Netflix, bro. And I'm gonna keep telling everybody about that crime and comedy podcast. Matter of fact, if y'all ain't home, y'all ain't watching that, man. Y'all need to tune in on YouTube and watch that crime
I'm gonna check
podcast.
it out, Rodney. I haven't had a chance to, but I'm gonna check it out, and I love that hat. You just been killing with these
He killed the
brands.
game.
I just got this one, man. I think dude overcharged me a little bit, but it was my Valentine's Day hat.
I might
Okay,
have to
it's
pull out
hard.
mine.
It's
Yeah, I
hard.
might have
You wear hats good, Rodney. You wear hats good.
Yeah, they fit him. I might have to pull out one of mine. I might. But anyway, different. Let's jump into it, man. Rodney Perry, what's your take on this Victor Wembanyama situation, man? Because ultimately, the franchise is very, very sad today. You know what I mean? As they should be. What's your take?
Man, this is probably way more serious than they letting on, man. For them to sideline him for a season, I mean, we've seen, in our lifetime, we've seen, cats drop dead from this type of illness, and so I think it's way more serious than we think. I send my prayers out to him and Mr. Wimbiani and his family, man. But man, this is a lot, dude. This is way more than we think it is, dude. And if we ever see him in a uniform again, we'll be lucky.
Mm,
You make a great point because
mm.
Chris Bosh retired from blood
Yeah.
clots. You know what I mean? I don't think people are even mentioning that he retired
No,
from
what
Miami.
I
you're
mean,
right.
I mean that's what killed Tommy Ford, man. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, people don't talk about it because a blood clot can rush your brain, and boom, that's your last day. So or it can happen in your stomach. It can happen in your legs. It's a lot of different ways. I mean, without knowing the specifics of his illness, there's a lot of different ways a blood clot can be your last breath.
Yeah.
So, man, I wish nothing but the best, and hopefully the great medicine and the great doctors can get a hold of it. But I mean, it may be one of those things where we may never see this young man play again.
I didn't even think of it like that. Great point, Rodney. I was too busy thinking about
Yeah.
What Chris Paul might do. Like, do you think this will
I
affect
mean,
his
Chris
decision?
Paul need to go sit down somewhere whether Wemby come back or not. I mean, Chris
Mhm.
Paul is he might be. I think he's either my age or Dugar's age. He's like Chris Paul is what 75, 80?
He close.
Chris and it's
Paul's
getting
almost
worse.
40
Like
though.
Chris
Yeah.
Paul has always been kind of known as kind of a bad, like a dirty player, and it's getting worse the older he get because now he really can't keep up with people. He push people down. He knocking people on the ground. Like Chris Paul is he turned to an old black man on the court.
He
I
sure did.
agree. I
He
agree
sure
with Rodney. Yeah.
uh, Dugar, here's another thing, man. I was watching, I had Sports Center on. I have it on while I'm doing other things and everything else. Anyway, I heard this topic today, and you happened to text me on it, which was a pretty great topic. They were comparing the NHL players to the NBA players. I want to expand on that. I want to compare the NBA players to the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NHL players for the simple purposes of, do we think, because they gave their thought process on what they were saying about this and everything. What do you think about the NBA players versus the other three major leagues, comparing them to being over coddled, under coddled? Are they in the right position? Because we had this talk a couple weeks ago, me, you, and Rodney Perry, about them with the ownership and everything else. They had a great debate on it today about it. You saw it. What's your take on the NBA players? Because they always saying today that they think the NBA players are on the brink of ruining the league for the over demands of payments. And it's
I've,
also it's already ruined the All-Star game.
I've been saying it for years, man. I mean, as much as I love LeBron James, I think he is the guy who begun the process to ruin the league.
Yeah.
Him and Clutch. That topic was really good today. I don't know what's the brother name, KT Sutton or something, a hockey dude, the brother from Canada.
PK Sutton.
He was
Yeah.
so on point in the points that he was making. And it's like, yeah, we all said what we said about LeBron, not suiting up and how he could have handled that much better. Then Stephen A went back on how he handled the going to Miami thing. These players have really turned into divas, man. I've been around them. I've been with my cousin and been around them. There's a lot of coddled divas, but that all started in AAU basketball, man.
Mhm.
It started in AAU basketball. I remember when I was coming up, we didn't have AAU. We had 5-star and we had Dapper Dan Hoop Classic.
Right.
We weren't coddled like that. Cats really had to go out there and earn it. These kids now are coddled. They're babied. They're spoiled. And I don't like the way it's going. Yeah, the players should have some power, but it shouldn't be like this, man. We got a lot of divas and a lot of selfish cats.
That's one way to look at it. Rodney Perry, first of all, Rodney, did you happen to see what the debate was today on? Did you see
No,
it?
I haven't watched television all day today, but
Okay.
I will say this, man, and y'all know I fall on the side of the athlete in this argument always. I mean, I'll never side on the side of the billion-dollar owners, and at the end of the day, I like the fact that the players have more power than they've ever had. I'm a big fan of that. I think they're representative of the world we living in, and good players have always been collared.
Mhm.
The elite players have always been treated better than people that weren't elite. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, great players get privileges. Period. Hopefully they get paid. We saw Michael Jordan, who's arguably the best player we've ever seen in our lives, not get paid because he came up in an era where cats took pay cuts to make everybody else make money. Now the owners continue to make money, and and they made all these deals and they don't want to pay up on the deals. That's disrespectful to me. Am I tripping?
A little bit, because here's the
So
issue.
so let me touch on that, Frank, real quick. What Rodney said.
Okay.
There was a comparison: the NBA, hockey, baseball, football.
Yep.
Baseball and NBA contracts, for the most part, are guaranteed. So when you're dealing with football, it's
Baseball
really
players make way more money than everybody too.
no. Yeah, baseball players make a lot of money. It's what was touched on is the selfishness of the athletes when it comes to the fans. So you said they were a representation of the fans. To a degree, they are. When I look at somebody like KD, I say KD is a representation of the fans because he just want to ball. When I look at somebody like Bron, everything is strategic with him. Everything is choreographed with him. And it's like discussing the fans and the families that paid $1,500 to $2,500 a ticket for the one time to see an all-star in a lifetime, and you don't suit up because your foot is sore or whatever, but you playing the game last night. And what Sutton was saying, he says, as hockey players, we leave it on the ice. We play hurt. We play injured, even in all-star games, because we understand what it means to the fans. So that was kind of like, and Rodney, you didn't know that. You didn't know that. But I'm just expounded on more of what the guys were saying. And he said it's a disservice to those families that get that once in a lifetime opportunity to see their all-stars, or when a team comes to their hometown and they don't suit up because they're not feeling good or whatever. But they hockey players, in comparison, he said, man, we play hurt, we play injured, and we understand it's about the fans and all the money that we're making. You should be playing. You go next year, you're going to have guys making $70 million with these new Supermax NBA contracts. $70 million a year.
But you're forgetting one major point too. You're forgetting one major point they made. Subban, PK Subban, former hockey player, now on TV, Rodney. He made his major point that stood out to me more than anything he said. He said, when the families get there, these players get on the court and give their all. They don't get on the all-star games and then play half lackadaisical and everything else, and then they choose not to do it. And you go see an all-star game, and it's something that you'd like sitting there saying, okay, well, they're just doing layup lines. You know what I mean? Right. He said, not only are families spending all this money, but when it's hockey, when it's baseball, when it's football, you're getting the full effort of the fan. He said you saw Michael Jordan do it, you saw Kobe Bryant do it, you saw Kareem do it. He just naming all the stars.
That's what I meant when I said they leave it on the ice.
Right. Yeah. He said you see all of them do it. He said now today's NBA players pick and choose when they want to play and how hard they want to play. And that's what he had an issue with, that he was making them.
All of the stars, all of the NBA stars, superstars that were dunkers participated in the dunk contests. LeBron said he was going to do it, and he never did it. But if you ever been to a Laker game, or when the Lakers used to come play Golden State, he would put on a slam dunk exhibition in the layup line. And these are the things that they're frowning on. It's like, LeBron, you said you was going to do it that one year, then you didn't. It's like your legacy has already been built, brother. Nothing that you do to fail is going to affect that. That's why I say everything is so choreographed with him. And I hear this from refs, and I hear this from NBA players that I know. And my boy is an agent for Clutch. He don't speak on it, but I hear this. I hear this from that he's a diva.
Mm-hmm. So, Roddy, do you have any? Is this changing in your opinion now, knowing what the topic was today?
Not at all. Not at all. I hear the hockey players, but how about this? What happens when the guy is maimed for life because he out there playing hurt? What happens? What happens when? I mean, this happens. This is not odd. Cats go out on the ice, get punched in the face, slip on the ice because he out there playing injured. Like, look, man. I think if you're hurt for whatever reason, you should be able to stay home, and you shouldn't be penalized for making a decision for your welfare. Now Could LeBron have played? Probably, but it's an All-Star game, and it's not just LeBron. It's it's this era. This era is just not. They don't care about. They try to make the All Star game. That's why they changed the All Star game, because they want to be more competitive. But you can't make competitive. You know, I still like the All Star game. I mean, and I understand the incentives that come into play, but I understand what y'all saying. You know, I'm not really concerned about people that spending $2,500 for a ticket, because they got it.
No,
They
they
not
don't,
poor.
Rodney. No, they don't. No, they
No, hold on,
don't.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I respectfully, well, let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
So, if you spend $2,500 for a ticket, you got it. You're not going. You're not willy nilly. You're not taking a guy that can't afford it, gonna sit there and watch it on TV. And so, will I get to see LeBron? Maybe not, but you're gonna see everybody else. I mean, we see. I'm not a big fan of people load what they call it, load
Load
management.
man.
I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan of that. Now that's a way more fair argument. But for a guy to take one game off because his foot was hurting, I think that's more than fair. All right, go ahead.
Good, Dugar, you got the floor. You have a retort?
I know many of people that have gone to All-Star games that cannot afford those tickets. This is money that they've saved the whole year just to go to that game. I remember my family going to sporting events where my parents would put money to the side for months to take us to go see Reggie Jackson or Ricky Henderson growing up. But they couldn't afford that. This was something that they put aside to go to those games. So it's really not the average fan that can afford a $2,500 ticket.
Okay, let me just end this with this, Rodney, and then I'll let you say whatever you can give your thought on this. The interesting part of this is you could say that about the NBA players, but the thing that hurts your argument to me is the other three leagues do it. You know what I mean? That's what hurts you, like the
Do
NBA.
what? Do what? What are you saying? Take
They
less money or play
no,
hurt?
they
What do you
play
think?
hurt and they give their full participation on every game, whenever it's All-Star
Well,
game,
what league? What leagues we talking about? We talking about baseball?
baseball, hockey, somewhat
Don't
football.
talk to me about hockey. Hockey. Don't nobody give a fuck about hockey.
But Rodney, that's just a comparison.
I mean, hockey players also fight too.
And that's what
We
he was
gonna
saying.
start fighting?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. But that's part of the game. Hockey fighting is part of the game.
No, what I'm that's not, but you're not about to. They won't even let NBA players fight.
But that's not part of the game. In hockey, that is part of the game.
All right,
I'm just
all
saying.
right, all
Hockey is part of the game. Like tonight, when the Canadians fight the player of the U.S., people are looking forward to the fight.
It's gonna be some fights tonight. It's gonna be some fights tonight
because it's part of the game. Now, if this was part of the basketball game, then we would expect to see it too, because it's part of the game, and that's just part of the game. So,
look. The era of players being tough is over. We saw the Malice in the Palace. We don't ever want to see that again. We never want to see that again. So players don't even work toward that. Like the physicality of the 80s and 90s. We're never gonna see that again. So if y'all looking for that, you're sadly mistaken. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's definitely
Yeah, I agree too. I agree.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Speaking of the Lakers, let's talk about the Lakers last night, because the Lakers last night had LeBron James issues, and then I saw this, Dugar. They put up some stats about LeBron James that I didn't know that happened. LeBron James, since putting on the Lakers uniform, I don't know if you all know this or not, he is 1 in 29 in either shooting a shot that literally will tie the game or win the game since he's been a Laker. 1 in 29. So the topic was this today, Rodney. I don't know if you caught this either, Dugar, but you got the floor. Why are they designing up plays and drawing up plays for LeBron to take the shot when you got Luka Doncic, who's he's 40% of hitting game-winning shots?
Look, man, look. I'm not biased. My favorite player ever is Jordan and Kobe and Steph Curry. LeBron is still that damn good. Mm-hmm. LeBron is 40 years old. People are amazed at him being 40 and still being able to play. I'm not amazed, because I stopped dunking the basketball at 45. And I know dudes that's 50, 55 that can still go. Mm-hmm. When you that big and you're that gifted of an athlete, 40 years old ain't old. It really isn't. It's just that cats don't play that long, but it really isn't. LeBron James still make big shots. I don't know why they came up with that weird stat because they trying to pass the torch to Luka. That's still LeBron's team, dog. That's still LeBron's team. So I've seen LeBron make big shots. We've seen Luka make big shots. They still trying to work out the ingredients with the Lakers. And I'm not a Laker fan, but I'm fair. LeBron should still take them shots. It was a bogus stat that they came up with. That was just a soundbite. And I think they do have enough based on matchups to go to the finals. I don't care what nobody say. Based on matchups, how it's paired, they have enough to go to the playoffs, especially if Luka,
the playoffs and finals.
Bron, it's all about matchups. It's all about seeding. But if Bron and Luka and Reeves and Hachimura play, and then that other big dude who's in and out of the lineup, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. I don't care what nobody say. I ain't expecting them to go to playoffs. Well, don't psych me out and Jedi mind trick me saying that. And then when they make the playoffs, like, oh, they didn't make the playoffs. I expect them to go deep if everybody's healthy.
Okay, so I completely disagree with your statement. You know what I mean? But that's why I love you, bro, because you make statements that make me, make me think.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, Rodney Perry, before I throw it to you, I'm going to just say this and just to give some kind of response to Dugar. LeBron James, he said that's a bogus stat. That stat is a real life stat. And they were trying to compare the reason why before the Luka trade, the Lakers had the top 5 defense in the league. After the Luka trade, they are now in the bottom 5 in the league. That's number one. Number two, the Lakers have been playing worse since they got Luka. Overall, they've been playing worse. So they are sitting there trying to decide when is Luka going to be part of the Lakers offense, because he's not settled in the Lakers offense. He's not comfortable. He was averaging 39, in between 35 and 39. He was averaging between that. Now he's averaging 16 points a game. You know what I mean? So that's why they brought up the stat. So as a matter of fact, I got it right here. Luka was averaging 34 before the trade. He's averaging 16 now. Rodney, what's your take?
Look, man, it's so funny. They've been saying this about LeBron since he was a fucking young boy, that he's not clutch, right? That's this whole stat is saying this guy's not clutch. And so now he's a not clutch Laker. Because when at first they said he's not clutch, then he hit 15 game winners, right? And now he's a not clutch Laker. Like it's just absurd to me, man. The guy is let's say he's not Jordan. He's still the number 2, number 3 best player ever.
Ever.
And I saw an interview with Luka. Luka was like, Luka, what's it like for you passing the ball in instead of being the one to catch it? He said, man, the guy had the high hand at the moment, and we're still they're still trying to get a synergy and playing together. And you go with the hot hand, and if your hot hand is LeBron James, you go with him. If your hot hand is Luka Doncic, you go with him. So I think as we move forward, you'll see that they find their legs as teammates. And they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. This year, not next year, this year. And we knew Luka was gonna be a liability on defense, but he's trying to play it. He's not hiding. He's not hiding. He getting the defensive stance and he's trying to play it. And I think as he continue to lose weight, get lighter, he'll be better on his feet. So I think I'm still looking at Luka, man. He's still a crazy great player, and so is LeBron James. And them two together, hopefully it'll show that they can do it. But we'll see.
Hey, just piggybacking on what Rodney said, I agree 100%. When I say bogus, I really want to say soundbite, a weird thing to bring up, because LeBron has been clutch. Here's the funny thing about that, though. Based on the schemes, Luka could end up being a great defensive player. So just look at Steph Curry, how they use him in a scheme to protect his liability. Who's to say Luka at 6'7", as big as he is, he can't be in the system that JJ Redick and his guys on the sideline put in to protect some of his lack thereof in that system? So I don't buy into them going to the lower half of defense if you got an offensive firepower like that, I don't care how good a defensive team is, it's going to be hard to stop that. And I'm not a Laker fan. I'm a basketball fan.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be a problem this year based on seeding in the playoffs.
Okay, so Rodney Perry, do you think they're going to be the finals? Because Dugar left it off with he thinks the Lakers going to the finals. That's what he
based on seeding, though. I say based on seeding.
Right.
On match who they play.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair statement. Like I say, if we can find some synergy between Luka and LeBron, absolutely. Absolutely. And you got to think, Dallas the trade themselves out of the situation, as far as I'm concerned. Who else? OKC is the number one contender, but I think OKC mentally is not what they need to be, for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they seem a little off to me. Who else we looking at? Everybody else, I mean, the Joker and his guys, they're still a force to be reckoned with. And so you got to get out of the West to go to the finals, and they still got to get past the Joker and his guys. So hopefully you don't have to face them too early. But like you said, if the season working in their favor, they may not have to see them to the last game. And if that then having Luka could be a big asset.
You listen. I'm a fan of basketball. I think you both made some great points. I just don't agree. The only thing I don't agree with is that the Lakers are gonna, based on seeding, no matter how you face it, you still got to get past Dallas, you still got to get past OKC, you got to get past Denver, Houston, just to get to the final.
Like if you question the Lakers, you got to be looking at Dallas side eye right now. You have to.
Why?
Because what they showed you, AD is hurt.
AD will be hurt for 2 more weeks, but they've been winning. They have been winning. They haven't been losing.
So when you say that, Frank, it can't. That's why I say seeding, man. The Warriors got past the Joker,
but the seeding, right? The seeding goes
seeding, and the Lakers. Imagine them two dudes in the backcourt. That's a problem.
Okay, but D, listen to this. You and I both know the seeding in the playoffs goes 1-8, 2-7. 3-6, you know what I mean? And that's how it goes. So the Lakers right now, the way they are right now, they were 8th and 9th, you know what I mean? If the playoffs ended today, I think they have to still do play-in tournament. So they would have to play based on seeding.
They're the 5th seed right now, so they don't have to go into the playoffs.
Okay, so let's say they're the 5th seed. So who's the 4th seed right now? Since you're looking at it, Rodney, who's the 4th seed?
I'm not looking at it. I didn't know that on top of my head.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I just know right now. I gotta. Kevin, look up the seeds right now and tell me who the seedings are. So we'll figure out who the seeding is. My point is the seeding is still going to hurt them no matter where they seed at.
I don't really believe that, man. I don't believe that because for some reason, man, when the game is on the line and it needs to be turned up. Nobody's getting in the way of Bron. And if Luka finds his groove, I think what's happening now is what happened with Steph and KD, where Steph basically, hey, dude, I don't care about scoring titles. I just want chips. You can lead the offense and score. Once LeBron and Luka figure that out, both of them cats going to be good for 30-something a game each.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say we're going to circle back on this. Because I'm going to tell you all right now, the top 4 who are above the Lakers are above the Lakers for a reason, and the Lakers have been losing. You know what I mean? They haven't been winning. They're playing worse. So,
but they don't have this though, Frank. They don't have this.
True. Now, since we're talking about that, just like you said, just since we're talking about that, let's talk about the next team up is the Milwaukee Bucks. I want to talk about because the Milwaukee Bucks, nobody's paying attention to them, and the Milwaukee Bucks right now. They had an issue today with Bobby Portis. He was one of their main cogs for them to get to the playoffs. He got suspended for 25 games for drug enhancement. Obviously the situation when you can't play with drugs. You know what I mean? Performance enhancing drugs. My problem with them is, man, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, Dugar, do you start looking on the clock and saying, listen, we got to do something right now because Giannis is going to want to leave. He got 2 more years on his contract. He's going to want to leave, and he literally could start strong-arm his way out. You got Dame for last year. You know what I mean? You forced your way to get Dame, and then, you didn't get better in the playoffs. Now you got worse, Dugar. So if you are Giannis, what do? You sit there and say, you know what, y'all, this ain't
I
gonna
don't,
work. I don't see the future.
I don't believe Giannis is going to be there too much longer. This is just my gut, and I could be wrong, but my gut tells me Giannis is not going to be there longer. Dame is going to be super frustrated that he bounced. I don't think Luke is going to be a legitimate long stay with the Lakers. I really don't believe that. Now imagine the Lakers packaging Luka, Reeves, Hachimura to the Bucks to get a Giannis. I mean, I really think Luka is the bait. I don't think Giannis is going to stay, and I think Embiid is going to be on his way out too.
Okay. Rodney Perry, what's your take?
Look, man, I think Luke is definitely the long term fix for the Lakers, and he's gonna be the lure to get another big name in there. LeBron maybe play for 2 or 3 more years. LeBron is on his twilight of his career. Luke is a young guy, 25. He is the future of the Lakers right now. As far as Milwaukee and Philadelphia, I mean, they're just bad cities, man. Everybody want to get the hell out of there. Like I know people from Philly, like Toure want out of there too. Um, you know, and I don't blame them. Get the hell out of Philadelphia. These same people that boo Santa Claus.
Hilarious.
He's hilarious there. If I'm Giannis, though, and I heard what you said, but if I'm Giannis, I'm gonna start taking a real hard look at going to another team. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to start taking a hard look at going to another team because the Milwaukee Bucks are going in the wrong direction. So let's just suppose he does decide to take a look and he decides to go somewhere else, because only way for the Milwaukee Bucks to even get better is they got to trade Giannis, get some draft picks, and start the rebuild process now, or they're gonna get a lot worse real fast. You know what I mean? But if I'm Giannis, I go somewhere. Where you think he goes to? You got?
Where do I think Giannis would go?
Mm-hmm.
I would say somewhere like Miami or somewhere like the Lakers or the Clippers. Seriously, he's a big market player,
right?
And I never heard Luka say he wanted to be a Laker neither.
Luka got surprised. He got hit with a
Luka had no choice.
Yeah,
but I never heard him in a press conference or soundbite saying, "I'm happy to be here and I want to be here."
That's a great point.
I mean, he was stunned. The guy was stunned to even get traded. I mean, he shouldn't have been traded. He should have been traded. Period. That they dropped the ball. Dallas dropped the ball trading Luka.
Right.
So
and you're right, Rodney. You're 100% right. And the backstory that I heard about that was the owner, the lady who bought the team, who's Vegas. How she want to build a new arena with a casino, and Dallas ain't trying to sanction that. So she's threatening, like, yo, if y'all don't give me this, I'll move the team to Vegas where they'll give me that. And if you and if you don't believe me, I'll trade Luka to make that attendance go down, to force y'all to let me build a new arena with a casino attached.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I heard that backstory as well. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not. But so, Rodney, where you see Giannis at landing at right now? Because
I mean, I'm like Dugo. I love to see him in a big market. I like to see him in a Nick uniform. I love to see him in a Nick uniform. I love to see him maybe Golden State, somewhere with a culture that I like the idea of him going to Miami. But I mean, I think he's the right type of guy for Miami. And he's got to go somewhere with a winning culture already in place that he can fit into, where he don't have to do as much. Because I think, we all know them dudes to be real tall, they have a hard time running for a long time.
Yeah.
Hey, Rodney makes a good point, man. Think about it. Miami, you got Pat Riley there and you got Spoelstra.
Yeah.
Who could you ask for even better?
Yeah. Eric Spoelstra is really one of the best coaches in the league, if not the best. You know what I mean? So I like the way you're thinking about that. So let me ask you this, D. Now we've got issues with Milwaukee. They're having their issues. The Lakers are having their issues. Kevin Durant got asked, you got to put a mic in front of him and everything else. He was asked about, what he did and what he thought about, the potential trade that he stopped. He said he just didn't want to move. I didn't believe a word he said about that. I think he had other issues. He just didn't want to
go to state.
Yeah, about going to Golden State. He just said he didn't want to move. I don't think he liked the situation at Golden State, but it turns out Jimmy Butler ended up being a great fit for Golden State. They're doing better since the trade came in anyway. So, what's your thought, D, on Kevin Durant's basically, thought process and what he said? Believe it or not, what's your take on that?
I
And what do you
think
think he's doing?
I think KD needs an emotional intelligence course. I didn't believe him.
Mm-hmm.
Him coming back to Golden State would have been like ego-wise, him falling back on the move that he made. So I think ego got into play there. It's still too soon with Butler and Golden State. Yeah, what are they, 3-1 since he's been there? It could have been 4-0. It's still too soon because I don't know what they're gonna look like when Kuminga comes back. I think KD, had he pulled the trigger and let that happen, I think they would have been in a better slot because he knows the culture, he knows the system, and they know him.
Interesting.
And I really believe they should have traded Draymond, like I said last year, because Draymond fucked it all up.
He listen. I've been saying it for 2 years, but that we ain't gonna go back. I'm not gonna go back to that. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts on this? What's your take?
I mean, as long as Draymond is in a Golden State Warrior jersey, you will never see KD in that same jersey. And I think that's the problem. And you know what it's like? It's like as an actor, right? As an actor, sometimes you get an opportunity to play in a movie. They want you to play a gay character. You better say no, or you end up kissing the dude. And what you don't know is what's going to happen further down the script for you that you can't see. He ain't kissed nobody this season, but next season they have your ass bent over on camera.
Rodney, could you see your facial expression when you said that?
Hey man, I had it off me some roll. I know how to say it. I'm busy.
Hilarious.
You're gonna have to kiss a dude, Oh my God.
No disrespect to people that kiss dudes either.
Yeah,
your facial expression was priceless.
It was priceless because Rodney got a new TV series out. You know what I mean? So that's what he said.
You better say no. You better say no.
I mean, you have to say no when it don't matter. You got to say no when it don't matter.
That's right.
That's my point. You got to say no when it don't matter. So if you KD, you saying no when it don't matter because my man is still over there. And how about this? He a bum. He a bully and a bum.
I'm talking
about Draymond. He can't shoot no more.
Draymond.
Yeah.
Draymond can't shoot no more. He's not even the forcer that he once was. So now he's picking fights with his own team. It's crazy. It's time for him to leave.
Man, I had so many cats from the town sweat me about my comments about Draymond.
Yeah. What they said?
That he might that know him and hang with, whatever. I say, man, he's a cancer to the team. He's a thug that they done gave a whole bunch of money to, and he should be thanking Steph Curry every damn day. That's the only reason why he's paid.
He was their enforcer. He was their Bill Laimbeer.
Great word.
He was their enforcer. He was their enforcer, and he at the time, I think his time has come and gone.
You know what's worse? Rodney? This is what's worse. Because you're right on everything you say. Here's what's worse. He is about to piggyback his way into the Hall of Fame by the way he plays.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Another thing, he messed up. Literally, we probably wouldn't be having these conversations, but he basically derailed Golden State Warriors' future. You had Poole over there already. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Kuminga was already in the system. You see what I'm saying? All of these players, he basically derailed that system. You had KD the whole night. Draymond messed that up, though.
Yeah,
I had brothers mad at me.
He's very consistent though, and the reason you love him is the reason you hate him. He all the stuff we're talking about was good things when they're at their height. You needed him to be an enforcer in. But now it's just like a problem. Like it's just like having a retarded brother. Like, man, he keep hitting on people.
Before I forget, let me just throw this out there to do
keep hitting on people.
The Lakers are the 5th seed and the Rockets are the 4th seed. So if the Lakers had to be based on seeding, if the playoffs would start right now, they'd have to play Houston, and they ain't getting past Houston. You know what I mean?
Look, man. As much as I said, I think Houston is 2 to 3 years away from a title.
Those boys are balling.
Houston ain't seen this Laker team. What I'm trying to say, man, is we're dealing with 2 of the top 6 players in the NBA still on the same team, and nobody gives Austin Reeves enough credit, and nobody gives Hachimura enough credit. Houston has not faced in a playoff Luka and Bron. Hear what I'm saying? Luka and Bron in the playoffs is like seeing Steph and Clay when they was winning titles.
I still disagree.
That's a problem. That's
It
a
might
problem.
be a problem, but Houston, those boys are like they say, Houston, we have a problem. Those boys beat the Lakers.
They would have a problem playing the Lakers. This team.
All right. Well, you know what? It's like the way you said, it's literally tracking right now. Stacey's joined the conversation. It's tracking right now where Houston is going to match up with the Lakers. So we're gonna have this conversation again. And I promise you, I'd even put a cheeseburger on it. That I think.
So you like the Houston in the 7-game series versus Lakers right now?
Yes, I do. I've seen them boys play 5-6 times. Those boys are bad. Like they bad. They're gonna surprise everybody.
You're right. You're right, Frank. You're so right. And I've seen them too. But Houston hasn't faced this new ensemble of the Los Angeles Lakers. And I am not a Laker fan, but I'm just gonna be honest. They haven't faced these 2 dudes. 2 dogs. Yeah, 2 dogs over there.
Stacey, thank you for joining the conversation. As you can see, we up in here talking about the Lakers and the seeding, and we was talking about Kevin Durant and the situation going on with Kevin Durant, the way he lied. My question to you, Stacey, is
the way he lied. Wow, that's crazy.
The way Kevin
soundbite, right? Soundbite.
The way Kevin Durant lied, because Kevin Durant, we all know he lied. He said that he just didn't want to go to Golden State because he didn't want to move. I don't think there's nobody who in the world who believes that. I don't think, because he's moved in season before several times.
That's pretty strong phrase to say he lied, though. Come on, Frank.
All right, you're right. I say he told the
You just don't believe. Just say you don't believe him.
Yeah, I don't believe him. But that's called a lie. That's what my wife told me.
Oh, God.
So Kevin Durant wasn't honest with himself, is what you're saying, Frank.
Basically. Stacey, you got the floor now. So here's question that I'm gonna have for you, because we was talking about basically the Kevin Durant situation. I'm going to turn the situation out to you and say, if you are basically Phoenix Suns right now, how do you figure out, how do you move forward? Because chances are Kevin Durant is not going to be there at the end of the season. He's going to do something to get out of there. So something's going to happen. He got 2 more years in his contract. If you're Phoenix Suns, how do you move forward? Or do you move forward and you stick it out with Kevin Durant? What do you do?
Well, you have to cut your losses at this point if you're Phoenix. KD has been there for a while. It just hasn't gelled. He did say that he didn't want to go anywhere because he was committed to figuring out the situation with Phoenix. We don't know if that meant he was there for a good time or a long time, but most likely he will try to seek another situation. The clock is ticking on him too. Those knees, that back, the Achilles injuries he had before, like he's getting older and more injury prone. So if he's interested in getting another ring, he'll probably try to chase that. And with all of that in consideration, I think the Phoenix Suns, they gave up a whole lot to get KD. So they can try to move him again and get some more pieces and try again with another rebuild.
Okay, so Dugar, I'll go ahead. I'll give you that. I'll give you 10 seconds on that because I want to change the subject.
I can see KD going to the Knicks or the Lakers.
I like the Knicks for KD.
I like the
They're
Knicks.
on their last leg, Frank. KD's on his last leg, Brunson, and I could see them having a conversation. Let's build this Super 3 on our way out.
Did anybody here see that new Netflix series about them making that Olympic run? Did you? You see it? Stacey, you see it?
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list.
The reason why I brought it up, I'll wait till you guys get a chance to see it. The reason why I brought it up is because you'll learn a lot of the temperament of the guys, the way they're thinking, and I want to talk about that. So I'll wait till everybody sees it, and I want to circle back to that. All right, Dugar, I want to get into some football real fast because the NFL raised the salary cap by literally, was it $53 million? They raised the salary cap by $53 million. You got people up there scrambling saying, oh my God, $53 million. So my biggest take away from that is some heads are going to roll. People thinking this might be a good thing, but I think some heads are going to roll that you don't see going in the new upcoming season, and there are going to be some major trades to make sure we fit things in. With that being said, I think Sam Darnold is probably the one that is going to probably love that the situation is happening, and I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to hate that the situation is happening. How do you see this new salary cap, Dugar, affecting certain teams in the NFL, and who you think is going to hit first?
Darnold's going to get paid.
That's why I said it. He's going to get paid.
Darnold's about to get paid.
Right.
When you look at this, now you say to yourself, who's going to make moves now to get some of these rookie QBs coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Is Shador definitely going to the Giants? Has that been official? Or
but the salary cap doesn't affect the rookies coming in. What it does affect,
right. But what it does, it affects what you have already.
Right.
What you have already, and what you can move and what you don't move.
That's the reason why I said Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold was trying to get paid, and Minnesota was not sure if they're going to pay him. Now they know they have the money to pay him because the salary cap went up. It also is going to look at people like who weren't sitting there saying that they could get Russell Wilson, like the Raiders situation. Now it's going to make the Tom Brady and those guys say, hey, we can afford him. Now we can get him if we want to get him. It changes a lot of things. So I threw out my two things that's going to be the most impactful. I think the Cowboys, because we all know the Cowboys move slow on paying things and paying people. And I threw Sam Darnold because right now we weren't sure if he was going back to the Minnesota Vikings. So that was my two.
I think what's going to happen with this extra money, Darnold gets paid and Aaron Rodgers ends up in Vegas.
Yeah, there you go with that. Okay, that's a good thing too. Rodney Perry, what do you see happening? And who you see making something big? What you see? Something's going to happen. Something got to give.
This is all a bait and switch by the billionaires again, man. These guys, they add $50 million to the cap, then they're gonna make these long ass deals and hope they get injured or something before they have to pay it out. It's one of these things that it looked like a positive move, but they're still not trying to pay no running backs. Even though we saw Saquon Barkley be amazing this year, they're still not trying to play running backs. They're still not trying to pay. They're only paying quarterbacks. So outside of that, if you're a starting quarterback, you happy to see this news because they got to give you the paper eventually. Like you say, the boy in DC not gonna get no money yet because he's still a rookie. So we're seeing the older guys catching one last payday. So you might see Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson catch one more payday when they probably shouldn't. But who am I?
I agree. Stacey, that's why I say quarterbacks. Rodney's absolutely right.
Stacey, what you see? How you see it?
I see the exact same thing. This is only a move that's going to benefit the quarterbacks because the most consistent thing that we've been seeing season after season is the guaranteed highest paid rate for quarterbacks going up. So in order to remain competitive, these teams are going to have to give these quarterbacks more money and maybe some receivers too. But the quarterback contracts are getting astronomical, and there's no way that they would be able to keep or retain a caliber quarterback at any type of level without raising that salary cap. So the salary cap really just benefits teams to keep their quarterbacks.
Okay, here's a thought. Dugar, here's a thought. T. Higgins was set to hit the market. He was looking for anywhere between $35 million. He was set to hit the market. People in New England, like me, was hoping that he'd come there. But now since the salary cap went up, I think now the Cincinnati Bengals are probably super happy because now they'll be able to keep him. And, he could have, he might be able to command $40 million and still get it and stay with Cincinnati. What's your take?
See, I'm piggybacking off what Stacey said. And something that Charles Barkley said a long time ago, and Jordan also. You got to prove it to get these contracts, man. We just can't, just like Purdy, and I'm a Niner guy, we can't give Purdy this money because it's the market rate for quarterbacks. If you don't go deep in the playoffs, if you don't win a Super Bowl, and I'm the owner, my name's not going to be on that check like that. You just can't get paid for market value and never do nothing but some catches and it's still not the top of the league.
You just said market value though, Dugar. So you kind of contradict.
But market value doesn't mean that you give somebody $50 million a year and they've been to the playoffs twice.
I disagree.
which is a Dak
I
Prescott.
disagree.
I mean, it's a team
I don't
sport though,
agree.
D.
I don't agree with that, man.
Gave him
I don't
all.
agree with. You got to earn that.
Dugar, if you are the number one wide receiver, or hell, if you're in the top 5 wide receiver and you're coming out and you getting ready to hit free agency, right? And here's a great thing, and a Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver is 10th, and he's making the same amount of money as you, but you got the most leading receptions, the most after catch, most breakaway. You got all that stuff. Should you make the same amount of money as a Pittsburgh
So
Steelers?
let me re-articulate myself.
Okay.
When does it stop?
Oh, I'm with you on
When
that.
does it stop? When does this stop? Because you could be a top 5 player, you get that contract, then all of a sudden somebody out of nowhere becomes that top dog. You give them a contract too like that?
Yeah.
When does it stop? When do you cap it? When do you cap
it? Don't
it?
stop. It don't stop.
Rodney, you got the floor. Answer him, Rodney, so I don't have to.
Here goes, guys. It's the same conversation we had before. It kind of don't stop, D. And it would be nice if it did, but it kind of don't. And I don't know if it should stop because, and we saw Michael Jordan say this recently. Players now are paid on potential.
Yep.
They're not paid on what they did. And we talking about a team sport with 22 guys. So, you don't control everything, but you do. All you can control is what you control. The main thing is the main thing. So if you're a top wide receiver and you're catching the ball for a top quarterback, then you got to get paid. We saw Deshaun Watson about to get another check. He barely even playing out there in Cleveland. Cleveland is mad at this dude, but guess what? He'll get some more money because he's still an elite. And so once you prove yourself that you're elite, that is what it is. They got to pay you. It costs what it costs. It costs X amount of dollars to get Dugar to come to your club. It costs what it costs.
Yeah, and Dugar gets paid on the potential, right, of what he could do because of what he did in the past, right? If we're gonna use that.
So here's my thing. I understand y'all argument, but if Rodney Perry sells more tickets to me and we on the same show, am I supposed to get more money than him because I'm hot?
That's the way you negotiate.
But I'm not selling more tickets than him. I'm just hot. No, answer the question. Answer the question.
You might be hot for
if
the moment.
You can negotiate what you can negotiate. If
you can only negotiate what you can negotiate, but is it fair? So does it get capped? Okay, Dugar.
It don't matter. It don't matter if it's fair. It don't matter if it's fair, D. Because if it ain't fair, then it's my job as the other act to go, yo, nobody. I do shit, but nobody can make more money than me.
I understand that, but see, I'm not arguing your point, but this is what's messing up the game.
Stacey, help me out with this. Help me out with this.
In this scenario, it actually helps Rodney Perry win because he now can pull up the raw stats, the raw figures. Look, this is your starter. This is your guy, and you pay him X, Y, to Z amount of money because he's hot, because he's a starter, because he's proven. But look at the numbers that I just put up. I sold it out.
Right.
Now I'm demanding that you pay me more than this at least match this for the next time I go out in order for me to show up. And that's how the QB market is now. So even
the rising tide affects all the boats.
Right. So mediocre.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not fair.
Have been getting paid too much money. And now the quarterbacks that actually deserve it have to get paid more than the mediocre quarterbacks that have gotten these record-setting contracts. So that's why it's never going to end. So that's.
But do they have? I don't want to imply that they're mediocre because they got their money though. Like if you're a professional football player and you stand on that gridiron, you're good.
I'm talking about in terms of winning. Justin Herbert, I said earlier, he maxed out or got the highest paid contract 1 year and had not been to the play, hasn't won a playoff game yet.
But he looked great. He looked promising.
Great.
Frank was all over this guy. Frank loved that guy. And I told him he's a piece of doo-doo then.
Yeah, if I'm a quarterback, I don't have Justin Herbert's fame or hotness or whatever it is, but I've taking you to the quarterback. If I'm Nick Foles, not saying that Nick Foles deserves Justin Herbert money, but I've won a Super Bowl. I can't get Justin Herbert money, and he hasn't gone to a playoff game. So the playing field is going to have to level out sooner or later.
But that's
what I'm saying. It's same with the same thing with Dak Prescott.
Right.
Yeah.
but he's paid.
Dakota
But
Reigns has
but
done
he should not be because of what his track record is.
No,
Okay,
but
so
he had perfect
paid.
timing too. It's also the timing, Dugar. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so you pay Patrick Mahomes, you paid another big quarterback, and now it comes time for and you kick the ball down the field with Dak Prescott twice. Now it's time to pay him. He just was at the right place at the right time, and we got to think about that sometimes when we talk about these quarterbacks.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
does that mean Purdy of the 49ers break the bank now?
yeah, they do. They will
They
because he's
have
been
to
in 2
keep him
Super
because
Bowls.
somebody
If you want to keep him,
they have to.
Okay, so should Josh Allen and Justin and Hurts make the same amount of money? Yeah, that's a great question. Rodney Perry, should Josh Allen make the same amount of money as Justin Hurts? Jalen Hurts?
probably
Jalen Hurts?
not. Probably not Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia should back up the Brinks truck up to Jalen Hurts' crib. But they again, it's a horrible city. It's Philadelphia. They probably won't.
Well, the facts are Josh Allen makes more than just Jalen Hurts right now. He does.
Yeah,
That's
it don't
fact.
hurt to be white in America too.
Yeah, but
It showed them. That light skin is something else.
I'm not even talking about that light skinned white. I'm not even talking about that.
I
I'm
know
just
you ain't
saying
talking about it, but it's a fact of life.
it is. But what I'm saying is right now, looking at the quarterbacks clear across the board, right? If you look at Josh, the 4 big ones, the 4 big dogs is who? The 4 big dogs is Patrick Mahomes,
Lamar Jackson,
Josh Allen,
Josh Allen,
and for
Jalen
Cincinnati
Hurts.
Bengals. For Cincinnati
Burrow.
Bengals.
Burrows.
Joe Burrow is a bum to me.
He's top 4. He's in the top 4 of the best QBs for average and passing yards in the league, and he's not making the same amount of money. And he's in the top 4. He's making more money than Jalen Hurts. You see where I'm going with this? They don't pay. They don't pay about where you appeared in the playoffs. They pay about what you've done.
No, Frank. It goes back to what Rodney said. That complexion is amazing.
Okay. At the same time, they still pay you on what you have accomplished, and
But that's
you
another example of timing too, Frank. Right? Like when they made their deal. First of all, Joe Burrow is a suspect to me all day every. I had him on my fantasy 2 years ago, and he threw 75 interceptions. Pitiful.
Let that hurt go, Rodney Perry.
I'm not gonna lie. If you put Joe Burrow right now on Dallas Cowboys, you can't tell me the Dallas Cowboys don't get better. You know what I mean? You see where I'm going with this? Y'all see where I'm going with this?
Depends on who we throwing it to.
He can throw.
I don't know about that.
I do. But anyway, we gotta get it. Go ahead, dude. You want to say something? I'm getting ready to wrap up the show. Go ahead, dude.
Sabotaging.
We have great quarterbacks, but they get too much credit because you could throw a 5-yard drop and dude run 80 yards. The quarterback get them numbers on his stats.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
But do you
as he should.
If you're starting an NFL team right now, do you take and you have Dak Prescott or Joe Burrow? Which QB are you taking?
I'm taking Dak.
Really? Okay, Dugas, which QB are you taking?
I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm gonna take Dak also.
Okay, Stacey, who are you taking? Joe Burrow or Dak Prescott? I'm taking Joe too. I'm taking Joe too, all day, every day, because that boy's bad. But anyway,
hey, I had him on my fantasy, man. He can stick up one, he can stick up another one.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining the show, man. It was a really interesting topic today. Thank you for joining the show. Rodney Perry, what you got going on this weekend?
This weekend, Greensboro, North Carolina, the Comedy Zone. I will be in the building, man. Super duper excited about going back out there. And shouts out to all of the people that's coming to see me live, man. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, man, for that. Dugas, what you got going on this weekend?
I'm jumping back on the ship on Sunday, so I'll be out there. Stacey, I'm following you. You follow me back, Daniel Dugar Carnival.
Yeah.
I like that. Stacey, get everybody out there your stuff, please.
At Darn That Stacey J, you see it down there on the screen. On IG at Stacey X Sports, on TikTok at She Shed for my own musings and foolery about sports and entertainment.
Well, thank you guys for joining the show. Looking at the time, got to get ready to get up out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We're on every day. Humor Mill TV. The name of the show's called Box Seats. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.
Yo, bro, you let me down, man.